Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we will see the suprarenal glands. Suprarenal glands are an important essay for you, or sometimes right suprarenal gland or left suprarenal gland may be asked as short notes. Even the histology and development of suprarenal gland will be asked along with the gross anatomy of the suprarenal gland. Histology of suprarenal gland and development of suprarenal gland you see in the playlist, histology playlist and embryology playlist. In the embryology playlist we have already covered the development of suprarenal gland in detail. You go through that. Those who have not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe now. Keep watching the videos. Now we will start the suprarenal glands or adrenal glands. You are seeing this yellow color, or a pair of flattened bodies, golden yellow color, situated retroperitoneally in the posterior abdominal wall on each side of the vertebral column, surmounting the upper end of the corresponding kidney. If you see, each gland consists of outer cortex and inner medulla. If you cut through that, you will see outer cortex and inner medulla. Phylogenetically and developmentally, structurally, functionally, the cortex and medulla are interestingly entirely distinct from each other. But anatomically, these are considered under a single entity. That's why this is an important topic for discussion for the examiners. First, we will start with the capsule of the suprarenal gland. Each gland is covered by the inner true capsule and outer false capsule. True capsule will be derived from the condensation of the fibrous stroma of the gland. False capsule we have already learnt in the renal fascia. The two layers of the renal fascia fuse at the upper end of the kidney and resplit to enclose the suprarenal gland in a separate compartment. Then at the upper end of the suprarenal gland, these layers reunite and are reflected to the diaphragm as the suspensory ligament of suprarenal gland. This also we have seen. That's why the downward displacement of the kidney is not usually associated with the downward displacement of the suprarenal glands. So that is about the false capsule. Size, average measurements of each gland: height 50 millimeter. Height 50 millimeter, breadth 30 millimeter, thickness 10 millimeter, weight 5 grams. The fetal suprarenal gland is comparatively larger than that of the adult. Fetal gland forms about 1/3 of the size of the kidney, whereas adult gland forms only about 1/30th size of the kidney. That you can understand from the picture. Now we will start with the shape, and we will start with the right suprarenal gland. First, right suprarenal gland. Right suprarenal gland is pyramidal in shape. It is triangular or pyramidal in shape, presents base. So you can see the base, apex, anterior and posterior surface. So this is the posterior surface and this is the anterior surface. So only we will see the right first. And lateral and medial borders. So this is the lateral border and this is the medial border. So now we will start with the each part. Base is directed below. You can see the base now here in this. Yes, this is the base, overlaps the upper end of the right kidney. Apex. So this is the apex of the right suprarenal gland, directed above and overlapped by the inferior vena cava. Close to the apex, the anterior surface presents a hilum through which right suprarenal vein emerges forwards and upwards. So that is about base and apex. Now we will see the anterior surface or the front surface. So first now we will see only anterior surface. So this is the anterior surface. You are seeing the front surface of the right suprarenal gland. It is divided by a vertical ridge into medial and lateral areas. That ridge will be called as anterior border. If you divide this anterior surface into medial and lateral areas by one vertical ridge, that is called anterior border. Medial area is non-peritoneal and it is related with what vein? Large vein. Medial area of the anterior surface of right suprarenal gland. Now you can understand clearly. It is related with the inferior vena cava. Lateral area, if you see, so lateral area, this is the lateral area, presents upper part and lower part. Upper part is non-peritoneal and it is related to the infromedial angle of the bare area of the liver. So bare area of the liver, what is the viscera related if you are asked? That is the anterior surface of the right suprarenal gland. Lower part is covered with peritoneum, which is derived from the inferior layer of coronary ligament. So that is about the anterior surface. Now we will see the posterior surface of the right suprarenal gland. Yes, this is the posterior surface of the right suprarenal gland. It's divided by the curved ridge into upper area and lower areas. Upper area will be convex. So this is the posterior surface divided by the ridge into upper area and lower area. Upper area is convex and comes in with contact with the diaphragm, which separates the gland from the costodiaphragmatic recess of the right pleura. So that is the upper part of the posterior surface. Then the lower part of the posterior surface. So we are seeing now the posterior surface. Posterior surface is divided into upper areas and lower areas. Lower area is, this is the lower area. Lower area is concave and it is related to the anterior surface and medial border of the upper end of the right kidney. So that is about the posterior surface. Now lateral border, we will see the lateral border and the medial border of the liver. So we will turn to the anterior part of the right suprarenal gland. We will turn so that we will understand lateral border and medial border. So this is the lateral border and the medial border. Lateral border is overlapped by the liver. Medial border is related below with the right celiac ganglion and above with the right inferior phrenic artery from the branch of the abdominal aorta. The distance between the medial borders of the two glands, if you see, so these are the two glands. The distance between the medial borders of the two glands is about 5 centimeter. And the structures intervening between them are as follows: from right to left, right crest of diaphragm with right celiac ganglion and inferior phrenic artery. Then azygos vein, cisterna chyli and thoracic duct. You are seeing abdominal aorta. Then left crest with left celiac ganglion and left inferior phrenic artery. So these are the structures intervening between the medial borders of the two suprarenal glands. So now we have covered the right suprarenal gland. Now we will see the left suprarenal gland. So left suprarenal gland, now you are seeing clearly. So in this view we are able to see, we will make it like this. Yes, this is the left suprarenal gland. It is longer and it is at a higher level. It is longer and it is at a higher level than the right suprarenal gland, nearer to the vertebral column than the right gland. Left gland is semilunar in shape with the concavity directed laterally. Gland presents same parts: upper end, lower end, anterior and posterior surfaces, lateral and medial borders. So we will see the relations of this left side, left suprarenal gland, upper end. So that is the upper end you are seeing. narrow, sometimes related with the medial end of the spleen. Lower end is rounded and it presents a hilum through which left suprarenal vein passes. Anterior surface. So this is the anterior surface. You are seeing in the anterior surface of the left suprarenal gland. Presents upper and lower areas. Upper area is covered with the peritoneum of the lesser sac. And it is related with the posterior surface of the cardiac end of the stomach. So you are seeing clearly. Yes, this is the anterior surface. Upper part is related to the posterior surface of cardiac end of the stomach. And the lower part is non-peritoneal, overlapped by the body of the pancreas and the tortuous splenic artery. So here it is reflected back to show the relations. So upper end of the anterior surface is related to the cardiac end of the stomach, and lower end of the anterior surface is related to the body of the pancreas and the tortuous splenic artery. So now you are able to see both the anterior relations clearly. Now we will see the posterior surface of the left suprarenal gland. So this is the posterior surface of the left suprarenal gland. It is divided by a curved ridge into lateral and medial areas. Lateral area is related with the kidney, upper part of the medial border. So this is related with the upper part of the medial border and the adjoining anterior surface of left kidney. Medial surface comes in contact with the left crus of the diaphragm. Lateral border overlaps the left kidney. Medial border is related with, same we have seen, right side, same here also, left celiac vein, and also with the left inferior phrenic and left gastric arteries. So this is about the relations of the suprarenal glands. It is a slightly difficult topic and you should remember the adjacent parts very clearly. Now we will see the arterial supply of the gland. It is supplied by three arteries. Superior suprarenal, so that is a branch from the inferior phrenic. Superior suprarenal artery, a branch from inferior phrenic artery. Middle suprarenal, yeah, that is a branch of abdominal aorta. And inferior suprarenal, you are seeing it's a branch from the renal artery. So here it is given middle suprarenal and inferior suprarenal clearly. Veins, they unite to form they start from the medullary sinusoids, unite to form a single suprarenal vein which appears through the hilum of the gland. Right vein drains into inferior vena cava. So here it is shown. Right vein drains into inferior vena cava and left vein drains into left renal vein. So this is the left suprarenal vein which is draining into, yes, it is shown. It is draining into left renal vein. Lymphatics drain into lateral aortic lymph nodes. Now supply sympathetic from the celiac plexus, conveying fibers from T8 to L1. So this is the arterial supply, venous drainage, and now supply of the suprarenal gland. Applied anatomy, so many hormones are secreted by the suprarenal gland. So many applied anatomy you should have learned in physiology. Yes, so many glands. So for example, Addison's disease, Conn's syndrome, adrenogenital syndrome, pheochromocytoma, Cushing's syndrome. So all these are the applied anatomy of the suprarenal gland. For histology and development of the suprarenal gland, you go through the playlist histology and embryology. So in this same 3D video, we have covered so many important topics. With the help of this, I have covered stomach, duodenum, pancreas, kidneys, and suprarenal glands. It's a very good three-dimensional model. With that, I was able to explain all these important topics which are very difficult topics. So you go through all these videos. With the next viscera of the abdomen, we will see in the next class. Those who have not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe now. Keep watching the videos. Don't forget to press the like button and share button of the video. Thank you.